Sup. The opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and Future Bachelor only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity. This fun podcast may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor Podcast.
Do you believe in magic?
Well,
Like I believe in magic. Yeah, let's start this friggin' show because we believe in magic. And this is Future Bachelor. My name is Cy.
And I'm Veronica.
And this is episode 143. Whoo! Do you believe in magic?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Oh, how so?
I mean, I think like there's different forms of magic.
Are you talking about witchy magic?
I do like witchy stuff. There's like rituals, like to think about it, like rituals and things like that have been a part of human life for like ever, and that's like a sort of magic. Like you cast, like, and manifesting can be a kind of magic and stuff like that.
I feel that. Wow, that got real deep. Like
Always with me.
Come on, man, we're just starting. This is a pop culture show. Let's not get all philosophical on them. All right, let's bring it back a little bit.
Oh man.
Whoa, you ready to have some fun, V?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Where's the kids? I need the kids.
For the kids, yeah. All right, well, everybody, welcome to the show. Shout out to all our listeners out there, wherever you're listening to us.
Our first-time listeners, or last-time listeners.
Last-time listeners. You know, shout out to you too. So, V, how are you? What's going on in the life of V right now?
Honestly, not a whole bunch. I've done a lot of, I built my kitchen area is pretty much done. I feel like a real adult now. I have my nice new kitchen table, all of my kitchen seating. I just need to decorate that little corner. So that was something I did this weekend. And then I fully decorated. My place has like Christmas decorations all in like the main living spaces, which is super cute. And
so
some
what was
lights
this
out.
little like shout out you got on this podcast show that about your decorations in your house or whatever?
Oh, okay. So this past weekend I watched Girls Gotta Eat's live stream, like they do their holiday show.
Girls Gotta Eat is a podcast, if you don't know.
Yes, it's one of my favorite podcasts. They're like a sex and dating comedy podcast. And I watched it this past weekend. And so in preparation for the show, they put on their Instagram, like, which one of our male guests were you thirstiest over and why? And they had, like, one of the little comment boxes. And I put one of their male guests, his name is Usama Sadiq, and he's super cute.
He sounds brown. Woo!
He's brown as hell. He's super cute. He's Bengali. But he on his episode, he talked about, like, how, he came into, like, his weird, like, his sexuality and his, like, weird stuff like that, because he was always, like, the weird kid, and, like, he was trying to talk about how, he only vibed with kind of, like, some of the weirder girls in college, and what he was trying to say was that the girl that he was, like, was having, like, relationship things with or whatever had no decorum, like, no, like, manners, things like that, but he kept saying, like, yeah, she had no decor, and so the girls, the hosts, were all like,
oh,
whoa,
don't you hate
like,
it when someone gets stuck on a word like that and they don't know, like, the meaning of a word?
No, like, he knew what he meant. He just was saying, he was like, I mean decorum. He's like, oh, God. And then, so then it was the running joke for the whole thing that, like, they don't even have a frame up on their wall. Like, they must be a freak. And so I wrote in my little submission for that, I was like, Usama Sadiq, like, because, like, I just moved and I don't have any decor up right now and I could get down with this weirdness. And they read it as one of the things.
Dude, for some reason that podcast loves you as much as you love them, so.
They really do. I know. This is like, I'm
surprised they don't know you yet. Like, how many times you've interacted with them with all the shows you've gone to and
I know. That. I mean, I was on stage. Like, my
you
friends
brought
were like,
me to one of their shows. That's how much you love them.
I know. It's like at this point, I might as well be their third host.
Hell
but
yeah.
that would be hard to be a host of two shows.
Well, they're going to have to bring the bank because I'm not letting you go anytime soon. But anything else going on in your life?
No, I'm just, keeping it low key, prepping for going home for the holiday. So nothing crazy.
Dope. Yeah,
here.
I mean, I think I've been pretty much just chilling. Because of the holiday and stuff coming up, you don't want to ruin it. I've been seeing like somebody on my Facebook was like, "Yo, I got COVID, so now I can't spend like Christmas with my family. Like they have to like stay away from their whole family for the next 2 weeks."
Yeah.
So that's horrible. So that sucks. Not much that I got done in the last week that I can really talk about, I guess. But
oh no, wait, you celebrated Hanukkah.
Oh yeah, Hanukkah. That was really cool. The third day of Hanukkah went down. It was lit. Get it?
Hey.
So yeah, it was awesome. We did some prayers, ate some latke and some what other stuff that was there. I don't know. It was just Jewish. It was cool. And
Jewish as hell. We love that.
Yeah, and it was like it was done up really well, like charcuterie boards and wine and like new friends and stuff like that. Low key, but it was cool. I was glad I was invited to celebrate the third night of Hanukkah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
No, the Jews know how to get down on their holidays. So I got some inspiration for ours, and it just has to do with just more wine, I think. So, but that's about it. V, there's a question I usually like to ask you every week. I don't know, it gets a little aggressive. But what are you watching, V? What are you watching? Just tell me.
So, I watched a classic because my friend Michael had never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
We watched Easy A, and I forgot how funny that movie was. Like I fully knew, like, and I forgot how well I knew that movie too. Like I knew what was gonna there's little things in it like the Quiznos guy who's like spinning the side and like Olive. Emma
I've never
Stone's
seen
character's
Easy A. What is it about?
Oh my God, you've never seen Easy? See, okay, now you gotta watch it.
Okay.
So it's one of Emma Stone's finest movies, and she stars as this girl named Olive Pendergast, and the whole premise is that she's like being made out to be like the school slut.
Wait a
because
second,
she
is this like the Scarlet Letter? So this is like a classic
Yes.
concept, like they've just remade it into like a modern retelling. Okay, so essentially she's like labeled a slut, and
because she pretends to
and then
have
they
sex
label
with,
her with an A.
Well, she puts an A on herself, like because they were studying the Scarlet Letter in class, she's just like, might as well lean in, and then she makes it like kind of like a little business for herself that like guys who probably like who are looking for clout, they pay her to say that they like have done different things with her, and stuff like that. Penn Badgley's in it. He's like ends up being her love interest. But like there's just funny little things, like it's something that I always remember my friends and I always quoting was like literally the Quiznos guy outside of their school would be like flipping the signs and like bumped into her and she's like, "Get out of here, Quiznos guy," and he's like, "You're a slut." Like it's just like my favorite line.
People don't forget. I love that type of shit. Anything else you've been watching?
Yes, I've been watching 12 Dates of Christmas, which is on HBO Max. And I've been putting it off. I needed to watch it sooner, but my friend Kate Steinberg is in it, and she's one of the dates. Like, so there's like 3 leads: a gay guy, a straight guy, and a straight girl, and like they get different dates that get rolled in. They have to like there's elimination, stuff like that, and the whole goal is to take home somebody for Christmas. And it's set at this beautiful castle in Austria. It's gorgeous.
Is it a good movie?
Huh?
Is it a good movie?
It's a show.
Oh,
it's
damn.
a dating show.
Oh, it's a dating show.
It's a reality dating show.
Do you think I'd like it?
I think you would.
Okay.
It's a little less steamy than, and like because it's a little like less people there, because like these are like lower level people, like they're not like famous, like, or they're not like Bachelor level kind of influencer types. It definitely is a little bit more realistic because they struggle through the ideas of like dating multiple people and like whatever. I think you might find it interesting.
Well, speaking
a
of
little bit more
reality TV shows, what I've been watching.
What are you watching?
I know. Can you ask me sometimes with enthusiasm?
Well, I do.
Okay.
don't know.
Well, The Challenge is back. MTV's The Challenge, one of my favorite shows of all time.
I love the
I love
Yeah.
The Challenge, and it's back. It's called Double Agents, and they got all your favorites back. No Johnny Bananas this season because he already won his 5 rings and he's out for now. But it's been cool.
Same, like I don't really watch The Challenge, but I feel like everyone knows who Johnny Bananas is, and he's just like a staple. So
Well,
that's
the
surprising.
cool thing about it's kind of like what I think The Bachelor took from The Challenge was the idea of recycling your castmates, because that's the way you have longevity in your brand, because like people just
some
like
people stick
recognizable
around.
people, and then you add like a couple new people like to the mix all the time. The Challenge actually just adds like a couple new people every season, but essentially it's always castmates that came from like previous, and it's kind of cool because they all came from like Real World and all that stuff. So, and now also they come from shows like Are You the One, which is a show they put on Netflix, and I'm watching both the first and second season. It's a stupid show, but it's actually pretty fun to watch. I don't know why I like to watch it.
Yeah. Well, isn't Are You the show that had like the all like gender sexual fluid season like
The most
a year
recent
back
season,
or so?
they did have a like a all out season like that where it was gender fluid, I believe they were using as a term. But this one is before, I think that 6th season. It was pretty like traditional as far as like guy and girl. And it's pretty cool because I mean, it's the experiment. I think it was because like I had just gotten into The Bachelor that I started watching this when it came out, and I was just watching these dating shows for like experiments on dating, and it's interesting to see like 10 guys and 10 girls get matched up, and they have to find their perfect match out of those like 10 guys or girls, and they always like mess up like for the first half of the season because everyone just goes for their type, and it never works out because like they're not the perfect match, and they have to keep looking for them, and it's pretty.
You know how I feel about types, specific types. I don't believe in them.
Yeah, I ain't got no type.
Bad bitches is the only thing that I like.
Yep,
You ain't
that's
got
my
no
type. All right, well, I guess since we already talked about what we're watching, we might as well, I don't know, get into quick hits.
Do we know though? Do we?
I just like saying things like or do or I don't know. But B, what do we got for quick hits this week?
So in the continuation of the Dave Chappelle show saga of him trying to get it removed from different streaming services and things like that because he does not own it and he's not making any money off of it, HBO Max, seemingly our new favorite streaming service, both you and me.
Right.
They took down his show as well at his request for him. So
yeah, I think it's pretty. That shows like the power of Dave Chappelle. The Chappelle Show was like his bit, like one of his first huge things that he did. I mean, it changed the game, and then Comedy Central owns it, which is owned by Viacom. So he doesn't make any money whenever it's like streamed or whatever. So by like HBO and Netflix and all these companies, like HBO doesn't have any stake in the game besides the fact that they might see potential maybe down the road to own, or not even to own, but to like distribute the like the new version of the Chappelle Show, and Dave actually makes one. It's like that's how much like business works these days. HBO Max would make money probably just by having the Chappelle Show on there because
sure.
people want to watch it, if anything. But they have no relationship with him besides off of he asked not to like have places do that, and if you want to work with him in the future, you definitely want to listen to him now. So I think that's huge for a creative like a content creator because I mean I don't know what the point, like is he gonna get his like stuff back from Comedy Central? That's like the question here. So
I don't know.
Or otherwise, we might not see the Chappelle Show ever again on, whenever we want. But what else we got?
So to kind of speaking of people fighting for their own content, Taylor Swift surprised us with a new album, a sister album, she says, to Folklore that was dropped earlier this year, and it's called Evermore. And I personally like it better than Folklore, which is kind of an unpopular opinion, but I like some of the features on it better. It has a very angsty, the Chicks kind of vibe song called No Body, No Crime with Haim.
Which is a really
Scott.
great concept for a song. Like, I think I love Haim,
So
first
good.
of all, but
I love Haim.
but I just think, like, I don't know, like, I thought, like, this album, like, the last album was the warm-up for this album. Like, I'm hearing more songs on here that are, like, make me feel more Taylor Swifty, if that makes any sense. I didn't really...
Yeah, no, I totally feel that.
I didn't get that. And, like, I mean, just this last week, I mean, we'll listen to it later, but, her song Willow that came out is, very low-key, is a hit, I feel like,
It's a good song.
It's a vibe. It's got, like, also... I mean, we'll talk about it more later, but it's just kind of cool that she still kept, like, the essence of the last album, but pursued it more into, like, some more commercial sounding stuff. So, we'll talk about it a little bit more later. But, yeah, Taylor Swift dropped that album. I guess, like, Kid Cudi dropped an album, too, which I think beat out her album. It was Kid Cudi. I think, like, his album might have beat out Taylor Swift's album this past week.
It was Kid Cudi. It might have, because Kid Cudi, her, and then Jack Harlow, were they? Did they all drop on the same day?
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Which, that was a busy day for me. A lot of music to listen to.
Yeah.
But
that Jack Harlow album is awesome.
Honestly, I like all three. I mean, when it comes to Taylor Swift, like, I've definitely fallen off the Taylor wagon a little bit more, pretty much ever since, like, 1989. But the Kid Cudi album, chef's kiss. It's good.
Yeah.
I love
She definitely,
this man
like, got in. I mean, I wonder if Taylor Swift's, like, whole rollout right now with these albums is because we're all in hibernation, like, in quarantine and stuff. So she's get this, like, very folky, like, I'm stuck in the woods.
It's like the whole idea is, like, she's, like, created the space of, like, you're, like, in the woods. Like, and that's, like, the whole story she's telling is kind of like this, like, fake fairy tale / not, like, woodsy vibe, which, that makes people, like, pick apart each song to be like, what is this about? Last album was kind of, like, more of, like, so she's talking about Karlie Kloss and she's talking about Diana Agron. Is she gay? And, like,
I really don't think she's
stuff.
talking about that much these days. I really think she's collaborating with a bunch of people, and it's just a thing they do with artists, especially Taylor Swift. But I don't know if she's necessarily writing. Like, if I would have given that up, like, 2-3 years ago or 4 years ago if it came to her, because, like, it's like, just write fake songs, write fake stories and ideas. I mean, you can write with other people that have other experiences and stuff, but it's just, I don't know. She's under the magnifying glass too much to be doing that type of shit these days. But what else we got going on? So,
different things from different reboots of, both Nickelodeon and Disney Channel fame. iCarly, which I enjoyed. You probably were a little too old for iCarly, but it was one of the many kind of the same universe, shared universe shows on Nickelodeon. They're going to be doing
what do
a
you mean
revival
shared universe
of
shows, because I love shared universes.
There's that, Victorious, and Zoe 101. Zoe 101, they all, like, shared the same universe, and
Wasn't
they,
there,
like,
a Sam and Cat too? That was, like,
yeah, obviously, yeah. So that's, like, when they kind of, like, pushed them together, because Cat was on Victorious, Sam was on iCarly, and then together they were Sam and Cat.
all right. Now I never watched that shit, but it sounds cool now.
I knew.
I love the multiverse. Anyways, what else about
They're
it?
doing a revival that should be coming to Paramount Plus, which is Viacom, CBS's, like, their streaming service.
I heard that one girl, the best friend, is not going to be a part of it. She wasn't mentioned.
Yeah, I don't think the girl who plays Sam, Jeanette McCurdy, is going to be a part of it.
Why do they hate on her so much?
Huh?
Why do they hate on her so much?
I think she kind of has, like, hated on them in general. I think there's, like, kind of, like, some issues, like, back in the day with how that with like some of the stuff with like her working there as a kid. I feel like she's come out with like different stuff about like how she was mistreated or whatever, and I think she's like very much so like, I'm not going back anywhere near that kind of stuff. And I don't really even think she's doing any acting that much anymore. So I think she's just kind of separated herself from the industry. But in sadder news, the Lizzie McGuire reboot is done. Aww. It's not I know. I'm sad because Disney won't let Lizzie grow up. She's supposed to be in her 30s, but God forbid she's like, having any sort of sexy time or being kind of nasty or anything like that. Even though she's supposed to be a grown woman in New York City, Disney Plus said, sorry about ya. So Lizzie and all of them, they want to make her true to character. So Hilary Duff put out a thing on her Instagram today, yesterday, if you're listening to this, the day that this drops, about, we wanted to make her authentic to her character and it's just not happening. We tried, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's upset and they're like, do it without Disney. And they're like, Disney owns it. We can't just take it and run. So
yeah, I feel like the only way it could work. I mean, that's what sucks about Disney properties is that all they want to do is reboot it the same exact way for a younger audience. So yeah, essentially they take your old people like Lizzie McGuire and make her like the mom, but then they really just make it now about Busy McGuire, who's like the daughter of Lizzie.
Busy McGuire.
That was like my friend's sister's name. That's why. So yeah, and then they just kind of retool it like they do for Girl Meets World and Fuller House and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't excited about the Lizzie McGuire reboot as much as I was about to Saved by the Bell, but that was your.
Well, there's a lot of Lizzie McGuire stans out there. Lizzie McGuire, she fucking. My thing is they're gonna be all like, this is too whatever Scandi for her, and she half dated Aaron Carter in a couple of the episodes. So and Aaron Carter is I can't.
So
anyways, moving on to more things that I can't deal with.
In angry celebrity news, what do we have?
Jake Paul, in his total asshole array of him in general, he is trying to get Conor McGregor to face him in a boxing match for. He's offering him $50 million. $50 million. And he, has been posting videos to social media, pretty much calling him out, saying how, he's 2-0 in boxing. And because Conor McGregor's an MMA fighter, he did one boxing match and he lost it. So he's like, I'm 2-0, you're 0-1, you're whoever, and whoever you went against last, has less Instagram followers than my dog. And that's a fact. And then he's saying shit about how his wife's only a 4, which I think that's aggressive and didn't need to be brought into there. And then he's been rolling around, throwing stuff at Conor McGregor's his coach, I believe, and then changed his Instagram profile picture to the screenshot of Conor McGregor's coach getting mad and trying to throw stuff back. It's out of hand, and I'm over these Paul brothers, and I want nothing to do with them, and I just hope, I don't like to wish harm on people, but I wish harm on them. I'm sorry.
I like this, though. This is the perfect scenario for this, actually, now, because now we're talking about two people that don't do boxing, but they're gonna get into the ring and box each other, and also the fact that this is the game that Conor McGregor played into MMA to every other fighter. He was the Jake Paul.
Well, I never liked Conor McGregor either. So he's also an asshole. It's kind of funny assholes.
I know, but it's kind of funny to see him get a taste of his own medicine, and almost he can't even get mad about the shit talking. I would just laugh it off if I was him, because it's just he's only taking. Jake Paul is only going after him exactly the way Conor McGregor has gone after other people, the exact way he went after Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. He bullied him into fighting him and lost. So, I think this is an interesting situation for Conor McGregor because he already lost to Floyd Mayweather, and now Floyd Mayweather. It's going to be interesting because now Floyd Mayweather is fighting the other Paul brother, right? Logan Paul.
Yeah, Logan Paul.
So it's just a really interesting like flop of situations. Like if Logan wins the Mayweather fight, then Jake is definitely beating the shit out of Conor. But who is going to believe that Logan Paul is going to beat Mayweather? No one. And then I don't know.
I feel like it's bringing in a different audience to like these pay-per-view fights now. Like, because think about it, you're like grabbing at this mostly younger, I'm gonna say, audience of like, you know, people who like these dumb YouTube antics. I don't know who does, but there's
Jake Paul
plenty.
might have saved boxing because like honestly, that's what I hate about boxing. Like I know I respect the sport, but like when I watch it on TV, it's always like this huge event. Everyone's just kind of sitting around watching two like old dudes kind of hug each other every 5 minutes and not really like there's no fight. There's no fight. Like if it wasn't when I watched the Tyson fight the other weeks and stuff, and the only thing that went down was the Jake Paul fight. You know, when he knocked out Nate Robinson in the second quarter or whatever inning, whatever round. Look at me trying to be all. All right, I got enough is enough. Stop acting like I know this shit. What else we got?
I know you were going for it. I was like, let's see how far you can
I know,
go.
and then I fucked it all up. All right. What else we got?
So, an audio clip of Tom Cruise has gone kind of viral this week of him yelling and, you know, and swearing at different crew members on the set of Mission Impossible 7, which I did not know that was that many of those movies, about COVID protocols, because he saw people like not following the protocols, and he kind of went at them being all like, you know, like, we can't have this movie shut down. I refuse to have this movie shut down. We're doing so much for, you know, providing jobs for people and like blah, blah, blah. Like our industry is being hurt right now because of people being stupid and like all this. He like just went on like a big tirade, which honestly, I'm not against anything that he said, really. Like, obviously, it seems a little culty because it's like Mission Impossible 7. He's like, wait, we won't have this movie shut down. But it, like, I mean, his ideas and like what he's saying is like, I mean, he's right. Like, the industry.
All right, I'm gonna stop you there because like, no matter if he is right, that's not like any way you talk to people. I don't care if you bought like a whole cruise ship to like social distance your whole crew and stuff like that. All these people are here to make sure that your movie comes together. You yelling at them and all this shit because they were like a foot or two closer than you wanted them to be. Like they're hovering over a computer while editing like your crazy ass movie with all these special effects and stuff. Like, don't scream at me while you're trying to put out Mission Impossible 7 during a global pandemic. You asshole. Like, fuck you, dude. Like, straight up, Tom Cruise. I know, like, people are going to sit there and be like, you know, because of COVID and everything like this. This has nothing to do with, like, what he was saying about COVID. This has everything to do with respecting people and never talking to somebody like that. That's just ridiculous. So I definitely agree with you. I just think, you know, this tirade definitely brought to light things about the industry that I'm sure many of us don't even think about. Though it does seem like, yes, it's good that they're providing tons of jobs with this movie, blah, blah, blah. But it does also seem kind of frivolous to be like, we got to push this Mission Impossible 7 through. Like, it does seem like. Especially during the holidays and put all these people at risk, like, you know, to make my dumbass movie that, you know, most people probably are not going to be that excited to see anyway. So, I mean, I was never into the Mission Impossible movies. Like, I like action and stuff.
I don't think I've seen a full one of them ever.
Yeah. I mean, if they haven't made it Fast and Furious by now, it's like, dude, give it up. You lost. But
dude, I love Fast and Furious. I can't.
I know. So, fuck you, Tom Cruise, as always. And
your Scientology ass.
Yeah, no, I don't like Tom Cruise. I don't like him so much that even if his movies are good, like I can't even see him being good now. You know, his personality You can't. He's not even that good of an actor anymore because of the sense that like I can't like not see your real life when you're on screen acting like whatever, you know.
Exactly, and also
And that's why you always gotta treat people with respect.
I agree. Like, no matter how big of a star you are, and he's a big star, but if you look at pictures of him, and this is something I can never unsee, you could see that one of his front teeth is aligned perfectly to the center of his face and makes his whole mouth look lopsided.
I know, I've heard that before. It's freaky as hell.
It drives me crazy. I can't deal.
I can't get the picture on my head. All right, well, Veronica, very last quick hit that I threw on there. Kylie tops the highest paid celebs on the Forbes list at almost like reaching $600 million that she made in the last year, which is almost 3 times as much as her brother-in-law Kanye West made in the last year. He made like a $170 million, a light $170 million, a cool $170 million. That's it. And then, you know, here comes Kylie with like her $600 million last year alone. So
the beauty industry pays.
Yeah, it really
beauty
does.
Industry pays.
Her Rihanna are cashing out right now.
That's right. That's right. They are.
V, what made you go yikes this week? Except for Tom Cruise and Kylie's money.
I feel like there's a lot of our quick hits were kind of yikesy, but this is the big yikes. Okay. And Shia LaBeouf is currently he's being in a lawsuit with his ex FKA Twigs because of some alleged abuse during their relationship, which has also been, I guess, corroborated by several other former girlfriends of his. So not looking great for him. He put out like a sort of non-apology saying how he, like when New York Times did the whole article on this whole thing, he offered his, like, as his statement, it was like, I have no excuses for my alcoholism or aggression, only rationalizations, and then added, I'm ashamed of that history and sorry to those that I hurt. There's nothing else I can really say. So he's like kind of half admitting to it, which does not look great. But
see, I don't understand. Also, like, what is she? What's the lawsuit about? Like, what does she want?
She, I mean,
for? Money.
I guess like reparations of sorts for being abused. I don't know. Let's see. I'm trying to see if like it has a specific amount.
Like
sexual battery, assault, and infliction of emotional distress. I mean, like that does something to you.
So, I mean, I'm not saying, because I've heard like he like choked her and got like aggressive with her and, you know, those type of things, which are definitely wrong. To me, I'm trying to understand the case, like post relationship. What do you have to get out of it now? As besides money, you know, if these things were happening while it was happening, you should have done something. I know it's like always hard to like say you should have done something.
Yeah, I mean, like I think like you can't say that like you should have done something then. It's hard. Also, when you're in an abusive relationship, you don't always know that you're being abused until it's like after the fact.
Okay. I'm trying to understand though, like after the fact, what are you trying to get out of it? Like,
well, I mean, like, so if it's caused her like enough like distress or like could cause like has triggered different things like PTSD or things like that, that affects your ability to do work. It affects your ability to do a lot of different things. So like, yeah, I guess money probably is like the easiest way. Unsure. I think they dated for like a year or 2 or 3 maybe. But I guess Sia has also chimed in, which I just like, I'm kind of like, Sia, it's not the time. Yeah. But she's also, chimed in to say how she's also been hurt by Shia, which just seems like one of these like one-upping moments, which is a little yikesy on her part, even though I know she's trying to use it as like.
FK Twigs like was appreciative of the support. Sia was coming from a place of, she said that like Shia LaBeouf had lied to her about him being in another relationship and then pulled her into an adulterous relationship. It's like, what?
Yep, exactly.
You don't know this famous dude is like dating probably a bunch of other women right now? Come on, Sia. And you put him in your music video. So
Yeah. So
It's probably my favorite music video by
yeah,
her, by the way.
I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see how this continues.
I wonder if there's like
Continues
proof
to
of any of
develop.
this stuff, or I mean, I guess he did put out a statement. He was saying that he'd been drinking. He was under that influence of alcohol or had issues with alcohol.
Yeah, yeah. Because one of the things that FK Twigs described was that he put them in a car together when he, I guess, if he and when he was intoxicated, and said that he threatened to crash the car if she didn't say that she loved him, which is not a fun time to be in.
I also read like he would count the amount of kisses that she would give him a day, and if she didn't meet the quota, like he would freak out. Like he's like, you've only given.
That's so fucked.
Yo, that's some harsh. That's aggressive. And it sucks because I'm a huge Shia LaBeouf fan as far as like his fashion and how the roles he decides to pick. But I wonder if these roles that he picks and stuff like has to do with his personality and the type of person he is. So
probably, I know, but alas, hopefully, hoping for the.
I just think he's like such a. It's just really interesting, a Shia LaBeouf. Not to like build him up here or anything like that, but I just think he's such an interesting actor in our generation because he's so aloof. He does his own thing, plays by his own rules. The way he's been able to like change through the industry, like of being like just a really funny comedic like young actor to these serious roles and to never really knowing what he does so many different things. It's like crazy. So I really hope there's something that comes out of this. I'm sorry that FKA Twigs had to go through all that type of stuff, but like no one should have to go through that stuff. But I guess we'll just have to see what happens. All right, well, let's lighten the mood a little bit.
Let's get into it
with what we like to talk about here and some Bachelorette news. This week we had a lot of Bachelorette. There was a lot going on with the show this week. We had Monday and Tuesday. V, why don't we get into it a little bit? What's going on with Bachelorette?
So Monday's episode started off with a one-on-one date with Blake, who I really forgot that he was still on the show. Right. I really forgot he was there. They did some weird, Reiki healer stuff. And he was convinced that they connected, and Tayshia was not. Tayshia was not in it.
It was when they were staring in each other's eyes. I saw him like willing into her soul. Like
he's like, please love me.
You love me. And then her looking back into his soul, trying to tell him like, will you just like leave without me having to tell you to leave? I think that's what she was trying to say through her eyes.
I completely agree, because she gets torn up when she has to like have people leave, and this was no exception to that case, because she does send him home, and she was a blubbering mess.
I wonder if those are like the hardest to send home, because like it's like that point where you've made them think that they actually have a chance, but they don't. They're still like the one or two or three that never had a chance. They're just like, we're better than the rest of the losers. Yeah. And then you love them as far as friends go, but you're
like, you care about them. Yeah.
You're more romantically like involved with the other guys. So then it's just like, I'm sorry. It probably made it worse by keeping you around here. This is just the game. I had to pick other people. You were better than the other people. I'm sorry I'm sending you now. Like, I felt the worst for Riley, because Riley...
Yeah, so then she goes back after that date, is a mess, sits down with the boys, cries for a second, then says... Then she pretty much is like, Riley, let's go outside. And the rest of the guys were like, oh, shit. Like, first of all, like, Blake didn't come back. She just came back. We know what's going down. And then she dumped Riley, too, because she just wasn't there yet with him and just didn't think... she could get there, and he tried to fight it, He
was a nice enough guy, but like he was never going to make it. Like, I'm surprised he even made it that far.
I liked him, but yeah.
I mean, I like him as a person, I guess, but like I never saw like him and Tayshia like really connect.
No, I never even saw him and Claire even clicking. I feel like he was just a miss for both of them. So,
well, all right. So she cleans house.
She cleans house, and then she decides that she's not even going to do a cocktail party. She's just going to do the rose ceremony, but brings Bennett back for the rose ceremony, which to me, what does that even mean? Like,
well,
why would
she
you
explained
even...
it. She explained it like on the Men Tell All that she needs time to be able to think about these things. Like he put his whole heart out there, and she didn't want to just give him an answer right away, so she needed time to think about it. I guess I do have to apologize to you because you were right, actually. She ends up sending Bennett and Homeboy home at the same time. And
at the same time!
At the same damn time. So you were right. But in the sense that I still don't think, what's his name? What's the other guy's
Bennett
name?
Or Noah?
Not Noah. I still think like Noah didn't get a fair chance. Like, even... I think all the way through, like, the Men Tell All, like, I still thought he, like, held his head up, and he was just, like, he kind of got caught in the crossfires. Maybe that one step early on where he kind of, like, talked to Tayshia about the guys in the house might have been his downfall. Yeah. But I don't even think that was, like, the worst move, like, still. But regardless, they go home, and now we got 4 guys left, and it's hometown week.
It's a great top 4.
It really was, especially because because Chris Harrison comes back from bringing his son to college and stuff. JoJo has exited as host, and Chris Harrison comes in and tells the 4 guys that their family members that were able to come and quarantine for 2 weeks were there, and most of their families and parents came. And as he was telling all of them, they're each like talking about why each person that came, like it was like the mom or the sister or whatever it was, why they're all so important, which was really touching. But you could really see the camaraderie around like these 4 guys. Like these were meant to be like 4 guys here at the end, because like remember when Bennett came in and he put his hand on what is his name, Zach or something like that, and Zach is like, why are you touching me? Like he got like so freaking mad. Do you remember that? I was like, dude, calm down. When guys are overly like, don't touch me, where it almost makes you look like you're like lame as hell for doing that. It's like, come on, he touched your shoulder. Don't act like he has COVID-19 or something right now, but he possibly could. He left and came back. But yeah, anyways.
He never made it off the resort. They just like drove to the end of the driveway, and they're like,
so they're like, you like obviously never left. He was like, no, I didn't. But anyway, so the guys are there. They all hug each other, and they have to make up their own hometown experiences there on the resort. So, and it's hot as hell there. I feel really bad for them because, like, the whole time, all of them are sweating their asses off.
They're all sweating their asses off.
And I'm just thinking about me sweating. If I was ever on a show, I'm like, I'll never go on a show just to not sweat on TV like that, because I would be the most miserable date. Like, she would be so annoyed about how, like, annoyed I am about how sweaty I am. Like, I'm just like...
Yeah, you get annoyed if it's too hot or too cold. You are kind of a baby with that kind of stuff. You literally are like, I'm cold. Or you're like, it's so hot. Fuck.
Dude, I just like to be comfortable, you know what I'm saying? But so the first day pops off, and it is with
it's my zaddy Brendan.
Brendan kills it. He's just been killing it from the beginning. If he doesn't win, it's him and Ivan. It has to be down to those 2, right?
That's I really think Brendan's gonna win, but if he doesn't, I'm gonna be surprised, because his hometown date it was just smooth, like run of the mill. The family loved her, the niece loved her. They did some cute shit.
That was a cheat code bringing the niece, though. I'll have to tell you what. Cheat code.
That was good.
Cheat code.
That's some good girl. Yeah, girl.
That's
like,
a girl cheat code right there. Date cheat code when you bring the niece, so.
Yeah, we love to mentor younger, like, women or girls and stuff. So, like, it's fun to be like, oh, my God, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
And especially to, like, gang up on your boyfriend and be all like, girls rule.
Exactly.
So that was heavy vibes. Second was Zach second or Ivan's?
Second was Zach with the taxi cabs. which I thought was really funny because they were like, taxi,
Yeah.
cabs. That was like pretty funny.
I thought that was funny because as someone who's, you grew up outside of New York City, you grew up in upstate New York, but like I've been in, like we've both obviously been into the city a bunch. Like barely anybody takes a cab. Like they take the trains.
But he was right
or
though.
buses.
The way she was like taxi. He was like, nah, they won't come for you. You're just gonna be a beautiful girl sitting on the side of the road. And that was really funny. But I thought it was cute. He went a little hard with her on the blueberries on whatever thing that they were taking. What she put blueberries on the
Their bagels,
and he wasn't having
Yeah.
it. But whatever, it worked.
whatever.
Out.
New Yorkers get like that,
But they brought her
his
back to the
brother-
fountain, and they start making out into water, and
That was hot. I
That-
don't know. I was like,
I know, and honestly, for like a black girl, like you never get a black girl's hair wet and stuff too. Like she went for it.
That's something I was talking to my roommate Rachel about. I was like, it's very interesting to me that she's been straightening / like relaxing her hair for this entire thing because of the heat and everything. Because I almost would think
Why
she
is
would
she
either
never
like.
sweaty? I don't understand. You think she'd be the
That's
sweaty?
what I don't get either. Like,
It's like the guys are like dripping sweat, and she's just like
does she not
legit,
have a
like she
pore?
has like an
Does she have
internal.
someone? She
blotting
must have
her
someone
the whole
blotting
time?
her every 5 seconds. Like, there's just no
It's
way.
like, can we not
Like,
get a
there's
fan? Oh, I guess a fan is noisy, but gosh, like
Yeah.
there has to be something done here. Can't be having the guys looking like wet messes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, so they do that. She's playful in the water with them. They have a great date. Another great date down. Third date. Ivan. We know this one's gonna go down. How are you not gonna have a good time with Ivan?
I love Ivan, and like his mom is true to like Filipina form. She is, asking the tough questions. She is being very much so like the seems crazy, like the seems nuts. Like you guys barely know each other, and like Ivan's like, nah, we know each other. Like don't worry, mom. And like in the beginning, they made some like Filipino food. I was here for it.
Well,
But
I want to go back
the
one more, because it was Eric, right?
Yeah.
The last one. His brother was kind of coming at Taisha a little bit.
Zach's brother.
Zach's brother. Coming at her a little bit about like, so where are your relationships at with the other 3 guys? And you could tell that she's been prepped on how to like not talk about anybody else. Because like that's a slippery slope. You start talking about that, then you start talking about another guy to a whole like another guy's family. So she was very stern on being like, I don't talk about other relationships. Like that wouldn't be fair. And it was just very awkward. I actually, that's like the cringy part of the show is like when you get down to those real nit-gritty moments of the lead trying to act like righteous for dating 4 different guys, and then to make like the family feel like assholes for asking about your 3 other boyfriends.
Like, how dare you ask me about the basis of the show?
Like, did the producers not tell you to not ask me about these other guys? Like
we all know what's going on here.
Yeah. So
Mom and Dad. We can't pretend like we don't, but like you can't question the process.
Right. So that's the kind of thing they haven't been able to patch up on someone like me watching it with my third eye and looking for things like that. So
Your third eye.
I don't know. I just sometimes I say these things and
Wow, we started with like witchy stuff. Now you're bringing it back around.
oh,
Okay,
dude, we're gonna bring it back
Spiritual.
around. You just wait. So, anyways, Ivan, great date. They, have such a good time. I think that was probably the most, besides Brendan's first one. That was the next like solid one. I feel like.
The biggest surprise with Ivan's date is that his brother shows up.
Oh
which
yeah,
his
I
brother
got
wants-
goose pimples on that one. Holy cow!
Okay, his brother, and I was like, oh my god, his brother's here. And then his brother rolls out and like talks to Taisha.
The best
and,
part is when
like,
Taisha is like having to like push Ivan's face to see the brother. Like she sees the brother before he does, and she's all like, "Look, your brother's here." And he's like, "Oh my god." And
But
he's
I
so
have to say, I have
gangster
some
looking and
questions.
stuff. He's got tattoos
Yeah, I have
underneath his
some questions.
eyebrows. He got like
I have
eyebrow
some
tattoos
questions.
underneath his eyebrows on his eyelids. What?
He has a lot of telling tattoos. And I just,
There's something there's something really awesome about like when like gangsters are really respectful and well worded and well spoken. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I know, he was so eloquent.
It's so eloquent, even though like, it's like so much respect, even though you could hear the like he would like shank you in a second if he had to. But yeah, that was like,
oh my god. He was like very into Tasha and being all like, you make my brother smile, like you seem so amazing, like anything, like my brother is my guy, like whatever.
That
like,
was another cheat code. Bringing out the brother was another cheat code. So I mean, that was a cheat code that he didn't even know he was going to be able to pull. So that was great for him. And then last but not least,
well, kind of least though.
Oh
Ben.
yeah. You're right. Wow. That one doesn't even deserve the sad trombone, but it just sad in itself. So, Ben, like we said last week, or like I said last week, I really felt like this guy has been trying his hardest to look good on TV. With everything he said, even with like his stories and all that stuff, like I felt like there were just kind of like these perfect, like, arc for him that he was doing himself. So not to lessen like the stuff that he talked about himself going through and stuff, but I do feel like there's something to be said about, I don't know where his parents are at, or I guess because like they said his dad was a doctor, so with COVID they couldn't come, but they got his sister and like
the only people that come are his sister and Antonia, who's like a chef, famous-ish chef. I had to look her up. I have no idea who she is, but I don't know. Yeah,
she's probably just trying to get some people to come eat at
I know.
restaurant.
I mean, I looked her up. It worked. So
wow.
like I was like, oh.
Wow, it did work. Well, what ended up happening here is that Ben choked. He choked. He legit
Big
choked.
Time.
Like B Rabbit, 8 Mile choked. Like palms are sweaty, knees weak. Yo, it was bad. He choked. Like, all you have to do, like, how many seasons of this do you have to watch that like, by the time the girl, if you've made it to hometowns, if you have not said, I love you, or I think I'm falling in love with you before she leaves the hometown date, you're going home. Or just even
show some sort of emotion towards her.
Oh, man, it was hard to watch, man. It was so cringy. Like, as a guy, like, to know that I've been in situations before, like, where you just it wasn't the right move, and it
just was bad.
And all he had to say was like, "Look, I'm falling in love with you," almost to the point where I can't even say anything else because I'm.
No, he was so awkward, and like I'm sure
he goes and kisses her, like this weird grab around kiss, and she's like, "Good night," and the way she walked away, I was just like. Oh, you are going home, buddy.
You're going home.
You know when you like leave that Tinder.
He knew it too. He knew it. He knew it was gonna happen. He was like, I fucked up.
You leave that Hinge date. You like you've messed up or something awkward happened. You walk away and you're like, that wasn't good. We are never going to go on another date again. That is what happened to Ben, and I thought he was gonna pull something at the rose ceremony, can
we go talk for a second, like whatever, but he didn't. That just shows like he didn't even try, like he emotionally couldn't even fucking do it, and that like it was foreshadowing when he said like when they were first talking about like having their families come, he's like, I don't cry, and I was like, okay, like I was
you
like,
don't
this
cry,
ain't gonna be,
but like you almost committed suicide.
Like, my thing is just, like, I get if you're, like, you've got some repressed emotions or have a hard time expressing your emotions, which I would like to think
I've thrown up before, and I've definitely cried when I throw it up. Like,
yeah.
I'm just saying,
I cry every time I throw up.
I know, so don't tell me you've never cried before, bro. You've done two things that I feel like you have to cry before you get to any of those stages. Like you
didn't cry in the like. My thing is like, yeah, he was in the army, and I feel like the army beats emotions out of you, and I feel like that's why they all have so many problems.
I just hate people that say that they don't cry. Like it's just like a really weird machismo type thing to say.
It's like, it's also like,
have you heard a girl ever say that before?
Oh, you can't healthily express your emotions.
Right.
Great. Like what?
Yeah, that's pretty close to being like, I've never like been in love before, I guess. It's just like, you've never loved something before. Like
he didn't even like, he had to have his sister kind of like pull it out of him, being all like, I think am I in love with her? And his sister's like, yeah, you are. Like, she was like, what are you doing, my dude? And he's like, well, I don't know. So he gets sent home in the rose ceremony. So now we're just down to Ivan, Zach, and Brendan for, I think, Fantasy Suites are next week.
So far, Taisha is, I think, still doing great as a bachelorette because
I think, yeah, she's great.
I swear to God, other bachelorettes would have picked this guy that she sent home fourth. Like, this is what I'm talking about. That's why I hate the seasons, because most leads will pick this dumb person because for whatever reason they're like attracted to them.
Let me save him.
Or they think,
I don't know.
they think that they're like the best looking couple or something like that.
I don't know.
I'm really happy to see him go home. I wasn't happy to see Noah go home because I really thought he was going to make it a top 4, but I was happy Ben went home. I wasn't a big fan of him ever. And
yeah, you weren't a big fan of him.
I don't know. But, I saw through his shit. But
one thing that we didn't talk about was the first episode of this week had Men Tell All, which honestly, not much happened in that except for the continuation of the dumb Noah Bennett fight, which I just thought was dumb. I feel like they didn't do anything to resolve it or whatever. But the big thing was that they brought Yosef back
before
on.
that though, they couldn't resolve it because Bennett doesn't feel genuine. Like, even if he's like, I'm sorry, it's like, dude, you're just saying now because like everybody's watching you and you know you look like a douchebag. Like, Noah can't even take an apology from him because he can't tell if it's genuine or not, which I wouldn't be able to tell anyways. Like, I wouldn't be able to tell that from him because he's just so snarky and pompous. Like, and so, yeah, so he tries to end it with an apology. Noah ends it with like, I don't know if I can tell if you're sorry or not, but fuck you, pretty much. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
And that's how that ends. So.
But Yosef comes back on
Mm-hmm.
and watches him be a complete asshole to Claire, smiling the whole time. And then, Chris tries to ask him if he has any regrets for anything that he said. All the other guys are kind of like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I can't believe you talked to her that way. And Yosef says that he has absolutely no regrets and Chris was like, I'm going to try to help you out here, buddy. Like, are you sure? Like, would you want somebody talking to your daughter like that? And he's like, yeah, if my daughter did what she did, I would hope someone would call her out. And I was like, my dog, this is a bad look for you. Like, you are continuing to look bad. Like, you just really, you went balls deep. Like, he just went balls deep on being just a complete asshole. And,
yeah, I wonder like what he could have come back, and he definitely doubled down. But I wonder what he could have said. Like, would he have apologized?
I think an apology or just being like, wow, even just wow, watching that back makes me realize like how aggressive or whatever I was being, and that like even if I don't agree with like that kind of date or whatever, like I shouldn't have said it that way. Like I feel like he could have easily said something along those lines, but instead he was like, why would I regret? I regret nothing. Like,
yeah, his pride
I hope
was
someone
his
calls out
ego.
my daughter like an asshole. Like, what?
Yeah, his pride and ego. He was one of those people that can't get around that. So, I mean, it was very interesting that the Men Tell All only had that select amount of guys. I wonder.
I feel like they got rid of anybody who was on just Claire's season because I think like Claire must just be done. They're just like, we weren't even going to bring back Claire. But
COVID reasons probably. They were just like
COVID stuff. I mean, it was something both me and compadre JD, we were talking about how it felt very much so like a Bravo reunion show. Because it was, just them, wasn't any audience or anything, and they were just like in a big room on couches and stuff, and like how they were fighting and how how Chris Harrison was trying to control them and stuff was very similar.
That Chris Harrison yelled at them at one point probably. Like there was one time he was like, hey, And then he was like, we got to go to break. And when it went to break, I was like, just thinking about Chris Harrison being like, all right, motherfuckers, I don't know what show you think you're on right now, but this is The Bachelorette and I run this bitch. So next time I say pipe down, you pipe down.
I wonder if like him and like Andy Cohen like talk to each other after that, being like, yo, like how do you control? Because like the housewives get like that on their reunion shows, and like Andy like actively is like, all right, like we're moving on, like I'm the host here.
Yeah, but the difference between Andy and Chris is like like it's out of character for Chris to do something like that. Like it would just be like I don't want to see Chris like get mean and mad. Like it's not like the Chris I want to see. I like when he's like, hey, you didn't find love, but it's your turn to go home. Like, you know, that's the way I like my Chris.
Guys, this is the last rose. Yeah, like.
Like very optimistic about very bad situations. But so what do we got going moving forward? We got 3 guys. You know, we still haven't seen the ex-husband yet. We got what?
I know.
How many more episodes do we have left?
I think next week is the finale. It's
really?
a two-nighter. Or actually, it might be next week and then one more week. I think we only have like either 1 or 2 weeks left because we have Monday and Tuesday next week.
Oh, that has to be the last night, unless they do Bachelorette on the week before New Year's, because the Monday after that is the Bachelor.
Oh yeah, it says fantasy sweet dates and the finale are next week. So yeah, crazy.
Wow.
And my mom already is like, wow, we're going to have to watch this train wreck like when you're home. And I was like, damn straight.
I got to think about how we're going to do this show next week now that I'm thinking about it. But
I mean, I think we could, it's going to be, I think we could pull it off.
We'll figure it out. I want to see if we can maybe get a guest on here for the last episode.
Of the year,
or maybe we get one for the Bachelor season premiere, but we'll see. Well, yeah, so that's it. Bachelorette news. Anything else?
Nope.
That's it. All right, guys. Well, why don't we get into our slapper of the week? Let's bring it full circle back to the witches. This week's slapper of the week is Willow by Taylor Swift. And yeah, I love this.
But it's
song.
A remix.
Have you heard it?
Not until before the show. You were playing it to cue it up. Like, I haven't heard this remix. I had gone through her
stories, and then I heard like this weird remix of the song, and I was like, "What the hell is this? This sounds dope." And it's like it's called the Dancing Witch version, the Elvira remix, but it's got a vibe, and it's like they just like switched out the sounds for better dance sounds and stuff. And I don't know, man. I love when I love Taylor Swift songs, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because it doesn't happen often.
No, I mean it does happen. I've seen it happen more than others, but there's just a good feeling when there's a good Taylor Swift song that I enjoy. So without further ado, Willow, Dancing Witch remix, Elvira remix. By Taylor Swift. I don't know. That's a huge ass fucking title. Like when I was writing it, it was just like Willow Dancing Witch version, Elvira remix by Taylor Swift featuring Elvira.
You got it. There you go.
Guys, slapper of the week. Let's go without further ado. But I made it a little whatever.
Slapper of the week. This song slaps.
Slapper. Yeah, Willow, Dancing Witch remix, Elvira remix by Taylor Swift, slapper of the week. And if
there you go, you nearly have
got it. And you can get that on the Future Bachelor podcast playlist on Spotify. And if you want another little cool cover remix, you can find my version on my Instagram or my Facebook.
Indeed, you can.
Yeah, just follow me at shashi.mp3 or us, the Future Bachelor.
At the Future Bachelor podcast, yeah.
V, do you got any shout outs? I know you do.
I always got some shout outs.
You always do.
I wanted to shout out, so we had our little Secret Santa, our cross country transcontinental Secret Santa that I do with my best friends from college. And my friend Hannah had me probably for like the 3rd year in a row. And I have to say, she really killed it. She got me some cute little gifts, some very homeownery gifts. She got me some very cute kitchen towels because I need cute kitchen towels, and then a cute throw pillow that matches my whole theme perfectly. I am an adult now. Like, this kind of stuff, like, I started to tear up when I opened it. I was like, it's so beautiful. So shout out to Hannah. Then I wanted to shout out
I didn't know little kitchen towels got you like that. That's what does
they
it for
really
you?
did, because like they're little rainbows, and then one of them has Santa.
Okay, move it along.
Anyways, I wanted to shout out my friends Erin and Mackenzie for just being awesome and watching Girls Gotta Eat with me, and gossiping as we do. And then I needed to shout out the at Atlanta Cheese Girl, Lauren Davis, because I bought a little charcuterie board from her. Support small businesses. She makes these beautiful boards, and I bought that for our Girls Gotta Eat listening, watching.
That's really cool because I followed her actually. Like I'd be on here trying to be like up in my date game a little bit, so I'd be seeing cool ideas and saving that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I liked the board.
Yeah,
so.
no, I mean, is it worth like as something to get for an event? And people will be like,
I thought
whoa.
It was definitely worth it for our little, our Girls Gotta Eat gathering. I thought it was nice because like we were talking about how like I love charcuterie, and like I think I could be pretty good at the like actual like assembling it, like making it look nice. But the process of like going out and buying different cheeses and meats and other accoutrements, for some reason that part of it like blows.
Dude,
like over.
Me and you are like
overwhelms.
on the same side of a pie this time because like that's exactly how I feel too. Like I would
Because I get overwhelmed. There's so many good cheeses and stuff. I'm
someone
like,
should
what
throw
if
a
this
party.
doesn't go together? What if this looks dumb? Like, I don't know.
It is like, oh my god, you got this jelly with bacon in it, dude. Like I don't know, like it looks like every jelly has bacon in it on those things. I don't know, but like I feel like someone should do a party where like they bring all these different charcuterie stuff, and then everyone makes their own charcuterie boards.
Oh my god, like how they do like you either go to like painting pottery classes or like other like cooking classes. It's just a charcuterie class.
Yeah, charcuterie and sip.
Oh my god. I mean, what a better pairing? Like there is no better pairing. That is the pairing.
And then you eat it at the end. So guys, that one's for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can keep that one. All right, guys. Well, I would just like to shout out to our listeners. As we're rounding out the end of the year here, almost hitting year 3 with all y'all. I just really appreciate the listeners. So shout out to you. Shout out to you guys that like know who you are, not just like the first time or last time listeners. You guys are awesome, but the people that listen, that are listening right now, that are like, I listen to them. I listen. I enjoy it. Ooh. When it pops up. I listen. I don't wait. I listen, and I text them when I have something interesting to interact with them about, or hit them on the DMs. You know who you are. I love you guys who send us ideas, and it's just that's what we do it for. It's for you guys that listen. So shout out to you, listeners. V, next week is Christmas. We're dropping on Christmas Day, right?
No, we're dropping on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to be driving back, I think, on the Wednesday. So unless I get there early and all that stuff, we might have to record on Tuesday.
All right.
But yeah, you're going home this coming Sunday. I'll be going home probably for a couple days. I'll be back for New Year's and stuff. But it's going down.
Yelling timber.
Do you have any plans before you head home?
No.
Good.
I'm not.
It was a test. I was testing you.
I'm like, no.
You passed. Okay, well, guys, that's been episode 143 of the pod. Catch us next week on Christmas Eve. And let's get out of here, V. I love you guys. This has been Future Bachelor. My name is Cy.
I'm Veronica.
And you know what it is. Deuces.
Bye.
Future Bachelor Podcast.